So you know how Hasbro just laid a bunch of people off? Well, you'd think at least they wouldn't touch their most successful IPs, namely Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons, both owned by Wizards of the Coast. You know, those are their two golden eggs doing the best out of all of the Hasbro IPs. So even though they laid off over 1,000 workers, they weren't going to touch those ones, right? Right? So, it's been a few days since it came out and announced that Hasbro was laying off a bunch of employees right before Christmas, and a lot of those employees have come out to say that yes, they were affected by the layoffs. And it is shocking, to say the least, and yet at the same time not shocking, to see who exactly has been affected by these layoffs. I'm using a list over on Nworld, I don't know how you pronounce it. I'll leave a link in the description. These are just the people who have come out at the time of this recording. It's about midday, the day after the initial announcement. Hasbro was not legally required to put out a list of who they fired, but people are coming out of the woodwork to say, hey, this is where I'm at. Interestingly, it sounds like they're keeping on a lot, or at least enough of their workers in Rhode Island. In case you didn't hear as part of the announcement and layoffs, they're actually shutting down their Hasbro main office in Providence, Rhode Island, where a lot of people were working in person every day. But they did not have to fill out a WARN. This is a worker adjustment and retraining notification that usually you have to file with the state if your layoffs meet any of these criteria. So either they're being illegal or they did not meet these criteria regarding their Rhode Island location. But that's not the main focus here today. No, I want to talk about these specific people who have been laid off by Hasbro. When I say laid off, I don't mean like reassigned or a pay cut or anything. These are people who no longer have jobs, who have no more reliable, consistent income coming their way right into the new year. And every single one of these people, I'm going to be reading their quotes out loud. They posted them to Twitter and public spaces, and some of them are downright heartbreaking, either because of the way they word their announcement or just because of who they were in the company and what that means going forward. Dan Dillon was a designer for Dungeons & Dragons whose name was in a lot of recent books. They actually made their way from Kobold Press over to Wizards of the Coast in 2019 before obviously being let go here. They posted, well, today was my last day at Wizards, not sure what's next. And that is brutal to read, because what that means is these people were not given a warning. They were not given a heads up. It wasn't, we're letting you go in a month. It's not, we're letting you go sometime next year. It's, hey, pack up your stuff and leave. We don't care if you have a backup plan. Go out. We don't need you anymore. You're done. And that's really painful. That these designers, who did not know they were being let go, they did not know their job was at risk, are suddenly without income and have no idea what to do next. And I'm just going to say it here. It'll prove the same for everybody else I list here today, but just so I don't say it 50 times. If you have a job opening or you are in need of designers for a project, these people need work. A lot of them have come out and said, hey, if you've got freelance or full-time work for someone of my specifications, give them a shout. So I'm going to leave a link to all of their Twitter posts in the description of this video so that if you need to, maybe you can get in contact with them if you have work for them. Tristan Falcone, I don't know the pronunciation. They were a graphic designer at WotC, and that is going to lead me into something I'm very, very worried about, but we'll get to that a little bit later. They wrote, to everyone at WotC getting cut today, and especially my fellow D&D team members, may your talent and passion be recognized and rewarded by the lucky teams that snatch you up. You're irreplaceable. To other studios, we are losing incredible folks. Scoop them up ASAP. It's Hasbro's loss. Again, first off, I love the wording of that post. Tristan, that's phenomenally worded. But it's so sad that there's clear animosity here. Like, there is clear offense. And again, it goes with that no warning. Tristan's wording here is, hey, Hasbro's lost. Scoop us up while you can. Because I have no doubt these are talented people. It's just so sad that even amongst all of this, we want to give that benefit of the doubt that, maybe they did warn them. Maybe they're okay with it. Maybe they're like, well, them's the breaks. But no, wording like this, and I'm not calling Tristan out for this. I'm just saying how it is. This shows there is animosity towards Hasbro. It's Hasbro's loss. They are not okay with what's happening, and that breaks my heart. Dixon Dubrow, who worked in creator relations, which are more important nowadays than ever before, assuming it's talking about like content creator relations, like every company has relations with creators around their content now. They write, and this one hurts hard, words cannot describe so many talented friends and coworkers simply gone. Just out of nowhere, out of the blue. Your best friend could have been one of your coworkers, just gone. There's nothing humane about what has been done here with this company. I see people in the comments on my last video talking about, oh, it's just business. You know, you can't take it personally. They're just doing business. It's their fault for not having. I cannot stand that there is a level of business and company success where it becomes okay to stop treating your employees like humans. Like, because your company makes enough money, your ground floor workers, it's okay to just let them go when you don't need them. Don't work with them. Don't try to improve things. Just let them go. Cut them loose. Save the money. That's disgusting. Here, this next person gets into what I really want to talk about. Bree Heiss, an art director. Much to my surprise, it is my last day at Wizards. It was an honor and a joy to work on the games I love with people who have become family. If you know anywhere that is looking for a sassy art director with some mad skills, please let me know. I think that the fact that they are letting go and laying off art directors, directors, I said plural, is a very clear sign of where Wizards or Hasbro wants to take their products. They don't care about someone leading their artists, leading the style, making sure everything looks right, because they've got AI to do that for them nowadays. Why have a team of, 4 art directors and 60 artists when you can just have 5, maybe 15 artists and then 5 AI generators, people who just keep generating AI. They feed the okay quality to their artists who touch up, remove the 7th fingers, fix their 3rd foot and make it look fine. Why would you want really good high quality custom art when you can have fine generated art with 0 soul in it? Because it saves you from having to pay 30 extra employees. Because why care about the quality of your product when you can care about the quantity of your product? Now that's business. Another art director, Mike Valancourt, was also laid off. No post from them, but they are confirmed. And this just scares me. The fact that they're laying off art directors and graphic designers means they don't need people to do that work anymore when they can press a button and generate something that's okay, which is good enough for them. They let go a senior development editor, Aiton Bernstein. Hi folks, I was one of the people laid off during the Hasbro layoff this week. I know of 4 other people on the D&D team who confirmed they were affected, but I'll leave it to them if they want to post about it. This includes folks on the art, design, editorial, and product management departments, and that's just who I've heard about. I have a giant ball of emotions right now. I haven't figured out my next steps yet. If you know of an opportunity that might be a good fit for me, please let me know. I'm open for freelance or full-time design, editing, fiction, and inclusivity reviews. If it combines RPGs with education, accessibility, or inclusivity, that's also cool. I freely welcome positive thoughts, hugs, and your awesomes. I don't feel awesome right now. This one I feel like hits me the hardest. This is clearly someone who loved their job. They loved what they did. They were living their literal dream, and they have lost it. The fact that, again, they hammer home that art and design, first 2 things they list where people were lost. But why pay someone when you can just subscribe to a yearly subscription to ChatGPT? Now, Amy Dallin getting laid off kind of surprised me. I never watched them a lot, but they were one of the hosts and producers of D&D Beyond. So anytime they had a live stream or announcement of some kind, especially regarding anything with D&D Beyond, it was Amy hosting it. I don't know if this is going to be Wizards taking a step back from having a sort of go-between live stream presentation format for their consumers, or if they're just going to be hiring a new host because new is better in 2024. Regardless, Amy writes, I'm deeply proud of the work I got to do at D&D Beyond and Wizards. Thank you to everyone who played a role in those many good moments. I'm not sure what's next, but I do hope you'll continue to support the incredible colleagues who remain, who I'll miss very much. And that one's so hard to agree with because, supporting those colleagues who are still there is supporting Hasbro. And there are lines, I will support the developers who are doing it out of passion, those ground floor employees who are creating things in their dream job. I want to support them, and I will always morally support them for doing what they want. I don't think that they are evil for still working for Hasbro, and I don't think you should feel that way either. Like I said, getting a paying job, let alone a good paying job in the TTRPG and board game design industry is incredibly difficult. So if people are still working at Hasbro Wizards, don't get on their case for it, because they're still getting to live their dream. And if they don't get this job, who knows what their next job could be. That's why all of these different posts are so looking for work. They're so desperate for work, because finding work in this industry is Herculean in difficulty. The senior communications manager, Larry Frum, was also let go. I'll be honest, I'm not smart enough to know what a senior communications manager actually does. I don't know if that's communication between departments or between consumer and retail. Who knows? But they wrote, as part of the recent Hasbro headcount reductions, I have been let go from Wizards of the Coast effective today. I cannot tell you how honored it has been to work with the wonderful and talented people at Wizards of the Coast. Being part of Wizards was a dream job come true for me when I joined a little over a year ago. It is time to start a new game and roll for initiative on my next adventure. Please let me know if you hear of anything where I might be a good fit. Excited by what's next. There's a very clear pattern here of people already looking for more work, which is so sad to see. I've been talking to people because there's been no announcement about whether or not these people got a severance package or are getting paid for a certain amount of time while unemployed here. But reading these, it sounds like they're not. It sounds like they're not being given severance if they're looking for work the literal day they were let go. If you get a severance package that can last you a month or two, you're gonna at least take a week off just to emotionally recover from everything that's happened. So this all feels like evidence that they were not given any kind of benefits package upon being laid off. David McDarby was let go from the Magic the Gathering team as one of their game designers. They write, sadly, my position at Wizards of the Coast was eliminated today along with many others due to the Hasbro layoffs. I've absolutely loved working at Wizards of the Coast and making Magic, tabletop, Magic the Gathering Arena the best it can be these past 9 years. If 9 years of loyalty isn't enough to get job security, I don't know what is. That is depressing. And I'm looking for my next opportunity. God, I'm so sorry to hear all of these. But the fact that they're firing game designers as well is just brutal. And again, it's not like they're firing the interns and new recruits from the last 6 months. No, they're firing people who have been with the company for almost a decade. Literally, it's like The Walking Dead and Game of Thrones. Literally nobody is safe. Paul Chian, I'm not quite sure the pronunciation, they were a talent manager for the company, and they write, unfortunately, I will no longer be working for Wizards of the Coast as I was one of the many that were hit by the Hasbro layoffs. It was an absolute dream to work on the game that I've loved playing for over 20 years. Future is unclear, but I may fire up a stream after the new year. Really easy way to support them there. If you see them go live on Twitch or YouTube or whatever, go support them. Rob Sather, one of the art managers, not just an art director, but now an art manager who has been laid off, writes something that really, really hurts. Yesterday was surprisingly my last day of work at Wizards as D&D TTRPG Studios art manager. My position was eliminated, nothing to do with performance. Can't even utter a snarky quip or lighthearted anecdote, just feeling gutted. That's even worse. It sounds like they're firing people at random. Whether it's just because they make a certain amount of money and they're just trying to cut people who are making a certain threshold. But the fact that, again, surprisingly, literally day of, they walk into your office and say, hey, don't come in tomorrow. You're done. And again, not to beat the dead horse, but the fact that it's another person from the art department, it makes me worry we're treading into AI territory where they're just going to replace human artists with a much smaller team to touch up AI. It's all theories, could be proven wrong. Hasbro WotC, you got a chance to prove me wrong. Please prove me wrong. The rest of this list doesn't have any quotes or big public posts from these people, but they have been publicly confirmed to have been laid off from Hasbro WotC, and they are Chris Lindsay, who was the creator of DM's Guild, Natalie Egan, a product manager, Jesse J. Hill, a community manager, I already mentioned Mike Valancourt, the art director, Vanessa Quanon, associate systems administrator, Michael Rexford, senior data scientist, Ellie Lockhart, analytics engineer, Jenna Hodgins, technical producer, Megan Galbraith Donahue, director of Magic the Gathering Universes Beyond Creative and Production. That's a hell of a title. Desiree Dawn, program manager, David Hartless, D&D Beyond director, and Shay Pierce, senior software engineer. It's wild how varied all of these different positions are. You know, there's a lot. The one we see the most of here is art. Like, clearly, art managers, art directors are the most common listed here in this post, but every single piece of Wizard seems to have been gutted in some way. Software, analytics, creator, communications, all of these different things have been laid off in some way. That's wild to me. I'm going to leave a link to the list that I used for this video, as well as all of the different Twitters for the people I can find who have been publicly laid off from Wizards. So if you're a game designer looking to hire one of these people, even for just a quick little freelance piece of work, I'm sure they could use it. Check the description, check them out, and give them some support. Lord knows they could use it right now during the holiday season. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.